Hello there, I'm Darren McDermott and you're watching The Week Ahead, where we have a look at some key events which may shake the markets this week. Well, today I have John Cairns, currency strategist from RMB in Johannesburg on the line. Hi John. First of all, let's have a look at Australia. Now, the Australian dollar rebounded from the lowest since September 2010. On speculation, its biggest quarterly decline in almost 5 years was actually excessive. Many also expect the RBA to refrain from cutting rates tomorrow. Now, do you think the RBA is going to maintain their wait-and-see rhetoric that they had in the last meeting? And how do you see the Australian dollar performing after tomorrow's meeting?
Yeah, it looks highly likely that the RBA will keep rates on hold. The consensus polls certainly suggest that, and as you suggested, it does have something to do with the weakness in the dollar. The dollar, like all high-risk, high-yielding currencies, came under a lot of pressure with the talk of the Fed tapering. And exactly as you suggest, I do think it's been oversold and that we can have some bounce back. But, yeah, the RBA would be quite brave to change rates in such an environment. So the best course is just to wait and see. If the currency bounces back there, then maybe at the next meeting.
And moving on to the UK, London's main stock market climbed at the start of trading today. This is the beginning of a key week for the BOE as it is welcoming a new governor and holding a policy meeting. Now, what do you think will be discussed at this week's meeting? And what type of performance will we witness from the euro pound and of course the cable?
Well, yeah, the new incoming governor's got quite a busy inbox. I think the first thing he's got to address is probably the UK is due for further economic stimulus. So obviously the Fed's been talking of tapering and even UK gilts pushed up, but the UK economy is still quite weak. So, yeah, a lot going on for him. It's highly unlikely that we'd get any policy action at his first meeting, but a lot still to talk about in terms of further quantitative easing and further stimulus. Yeah, he does face a big task coming in. Sterling, yeah, look, there hasn't been much happening there. The cross rate with the euro has been remarkably stable over the past couple of weeks. So both the euro and sterling really trading off the dollar's strength and weakness, which has really been about the whole tapering issue.
And looking at the Eurozone, how is the euro performing ahead of the ECB rate decision this week? And what are you expecting to see at this meeting?
I think the big thing about euro dollar is quite how resilient it has been with all this talk about the Fed tapering. And I think really what that relates to is more and more confidence in Europe's outlook. And I don't think anyone is really expecting strong growth, but as we saw in today's PMI figures, the consensus expectation that Europe would come slowly out of recession is proving correct, and the risk of a breakup in the Eurozone is reducing. So, yeah, some surprising Euro strength if you consider that the US is looking to tighten, but if anything, the ECB is still looking to loosen. I think what they're going to be talking about is considering is all the different policy responses that they could do to get credit to the market. As I'm sure you know, there's been a lot of speculation about that. I think it's too early now for them to go ahead and cut rates. The market's still talking about a September cut, and there's also a lot of other unconventional policies that they're certainly looking to follow. Our expectation at Rand Merchant Bank is that euro dollar will still come lower over the course of this year, with the US picking up, with the Fed tightening, with treasuries pushing up. I think growth and interest rates favor the dollar over the euro, and so over sterling as well. So euro dollar to maybe drift down. We've got 128 at year end, which isn't a very aggressive target. It's not far from here, but it's the direction, which is the dollar gaining at the expense of both sterling and the euro.
And finally, what other events, John, do you think will shake the markets this week?
When we look at market events, it's still all about Fed tapering, and so the attention will be on US data. So we've got the ISM figure later today, and then the big one, which is on Friday with the payrolls figure. Two reasons to think it won't get as much attention as usual. One is it's squeezed between the weekend and the Independence Day holiday. The other is I think tapering is now assumed. The market thinks tapering will go ahead in September. Having said that, payrolls is always the biggest figure in the month for the market, so we've got to wait and see.
Great, John. Thanks for that. Well, viewers, I will be covering both the RBA and BOE rate decisions, so make sure you check out these interviews later on in the week. But for now, enjoy the rest of your day.